the Street Fighter V, you are going to be able to unlock and earn everything on your own. Optionally, you can still go and buy that if you don't feel like dealing with all that shit, if you don't have the skill for it, if you don't have the time for it. So optionally you can buy it, but you can unlock and earn all of it, you know, the right way, the way that we grew up.
No, nah, I don't think so, AlphaOmegaSin. I don't think so. You know, I never actually thought I would do a direct video response where I actually disagreed with your opinion on a particular subject, but I guess there's a first time for anything. So let me tell you why Capcom has not changed. Let me tell you why this is not a good thing for gamers or Capcom. And let me tell you why Capcom hooked you, hook, line, and sinker. Now, there are people who have said that this is Capcom going back to what they used to be. And this is a good thing. This is a glorification of them being good, of going back to what they used to be. But there's one bit of a problem with this scenario that totally destroys that very ideology. Microtransactions. Tell me, what video game on the PS2 that Capcom created has microtransactions in it? What fighting game on the Super NES has microtransactions in it? Do you get where we're getting at here? You can't go back to what you are if all you're going to do is modify a modern-day business practice and mold an old business practice with a new business practice. That is not Capcom going back to what they used to be. That is Capcom modifying something that gamers want and making something optional. And as AlphaOmegaSin has said himself plenty of times in his own videos, when he brings up the very ideology of gamers who want to say that it's optional, and I think you get the ideology right there. I don't think I need to go any further than that. This isn't something to celebrate. This isn't something to glorify. This is not something to help advertise. And unfortunately, Capcom did hook, line, and sinker AlphaOmegaSin. They suckered him so bad, they're probably teabagging him right now, alright? And he doesn't even know it. I mean, you can dislike this video all you want, but my whole ideology as Rogue Gamer is to tell you the shit you don't want to hear. And to remind you of what gaming used to be like. Capcom never once had microtransactions in any of their retro-based games. So how can you sit here and say that they have gone back to what they were when they're using a business model from this modern generation that not only I and other gamers, but even AlphaOmegaSin himself has voiced their thoughts and concerns about other games that use microtransactions? What kind of a hypocrite would I be if I, which I have done, I've made videos of voicing my thoughts and concerns about microtransactions, but then a game comes out, let's say it's one of my favorite games, and there's blatant, obvious microtransactions in it, but I'm totally ignoring it or glorifying it within of itself. Now that only comes down to two options. Either I'm a hypocrite, or the developer's sweet little words that they whispered in my ears in their advertising fooled me hook, line, and sinker. Street Fighter V is not something to get excited about. It has microtransactions in it. And like AlphaOmegaSin would say himself, it doesn't matter if they are optional. You could just shut the fuck up right now. It is still fucking wrong. This is not Capcom going back to what they used to be. Because I will ask you again. Name a PlayStation game with Capcom's name that has microtransactions on it. Name an NES game with Capcom's name on it that has microtransactions on it. If Capcom was honestly to go back to the business model that they used to do, then what their announcement would have been for Street Fighter V is that there is no downloadable content whatsoever. We have put all the content in the game that we want. There are tons of hidden characters that you can unlock by playing the game. And we promise you that there is absolutely no DLC and no future DLC planned for this game, and no microtransactions whatsoever in the game. That would be something to be excited about. That is something even I would create a video for. But to sit here and when a company blatantly is basically having microtransactions in their game, no, that's not Capcom going back to what they were. That is them simply modifying their business model in hopes that gamers that don't like DLC, that don't like dislike content, and don't like microtransactions will somehow be swayed by the pretty little soft words that Capcom has spoken. And unfortunately, it fooled AlphaOmegaSin hook, line, and sinker. So you have to ask yourself, when Street Fighter V comes out, are you going to get it? Because you shouldn't. Because you're going to be part of the problem if you do. It's not just about not buying microtransactions. It's not just about not buying that video game. It is about giving them a message that that you will not tolerate microtransactions, no matter how much they want to fluff it up and make it sound all pretty like. When are we as gamers going to honestly pull our head out of our ass and honestly stand up to these developers? I understand, and you understand, that yes, they're making their creations the way they want. But at the end of the day, we're the ones that buy them. And as consumers, as customers that pay for these products, we should have a little bit of say. And to be honest, DLC, microtransactions, and paid dislike content is all bullshit. No matter how much these developers or publishers want to whisper sweet little words in our ears of how cool the game is or something that they've changed. And remember, it has nothing to do with them being optional. Because imagine AlphaOmegaSin doing this video. Just imagine what he would tell you if you want to tell him that it's optional. You can't sit here and voice your thoughts and concerns about microtransactions in another game and not do it for this game. It makes no sense. It's no different than Mortal Kombat and Evolve. People complaining about Evolve's DLC, but Mortal Kombat gets a pass. People complaining about Evolve's DLC, but Batman Arkham Knight gets a pass. Shit don't get a pass, gamers. And you have to ask yourself, are you going to be part of the problem? Or are you going to be part of the solution? Anyway, this is my video response to AlphaOmegaSin. Again, nothing against the guy. I think he's fucking cool. Fuck, dude, link to his channel. Go subscribe to him, alright? He's a heavy metal, bearded, long-haired motherfucker. And that's about all I can come up with, because I'm not a fucking comedian in any way, shape, or form, alright? But he's fucking cool. But like I've said in videos before, everyone has their gamer zombie moments, which is the fanboy moments. So anyway, gamers, hope you enjoyed this video in some fashion or form. And remember, if you're not voicing your thoughts and concerns when other gamers are having a gamer zombie moment, you just might be a part of the motherfucking problem. And remember, when it comes to Street Fighter V, when it's released, are you going to be a part of the problem and purchase it? And don't use that bullshit excuse that you ain't going to buy no microtransactions because you're still supporting the shit. Or are you going to be part of the solution?